Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Quick look here again at Bitcoin. We are looking at the candlestick closure. It just hit 5 o'clock here in Pacific Standard Time, so we got a new daily candle. We're going to kind of take a look at a few things here, more so just a recap from earlier today. Easiest way to understand is we have a falling wedge pattern here that potentially has a breakout upwards, at least a more statistical probability of the price to break up than down. We'll also take a look here at some liquidation levels too. So this is the last 7 days liquidation, just to give you a look back. In fact, hold on, let's go ahead and refresh this to be safe and just make sure we're on the right track. Because again, when we look at the last 7 days earlier today, we can see that there's liquidation levels in a few different ways. So in other words, we got this roughly $2 billion worth of liquidation at 63,800. And then we've, of course, we already know this, there's a good amount, roughly about $5 billion worth of liquidation at 67,700. So we're closer to the lower end. It would make sense for the price to continue lower because there's a moderate amount of liquidation as low as about 62,000. That's just in the last 7 days. If we look at the larger time frame over here, if you can see this, it tells us a stronger story here. We got about $10 billion worth of liquidation at 63,000. Okay, so my guess is we're going to see 63,000 get swept, but my consensus from earlier today is that we may see 66,000 or 67,000 retested because that's that resistance range. And Bitcoin showed some strength this morning, but right now it's not. We'll talk about that. Okay, that's just generally speaking where we're at. I'm going to highlight some of this other stuff later in future videos. Just know we got some good stuff coming there. But when we look at the front end here, first of all, when it comes to moving averages and some important factors there, we're still not looking phenomenal on the daily. Okay, we're below some important moving averages, specifically the 20 and the 50. The hundreds above us as well, and we have these 200 kind of traveling behind. So not to sugarcoat this at all, but we're still above an ascending trend line here, and we are not in dire straits, but we're not looking great. In other words, generally speaking, when we hit 30 on the 20 on money flow index and 30 on traditional RSIs, we usually see the price action recover. But we are stochastically swinging down. We haven't hit 30 yet, so it's safe to presume the price is going to continue lower. Our smaller time frames gave us better indications of a potential reversal, but that has since fizzled out, looks like, in the last 4 hours. So we'll discuss that here, but easy way to understand it on the daily, not looking phenomenal. And we'll go ahead and kind of reiterate a few other things here. So again, just to clarify, if all goes well here, and I showed this earlier too, just a quick little recap, every time we've had a falling wedge pattern, the price ends up breaking out. Okay, so keep in mind, we are in a situation like that. So if we do bottom off of this 64,200, we could very well see the price take off. It's best to assume the price will continue lower until it doesn't. Okay, now me personally, we're entering somewhat of a support range, and not based necessarily on volume, but more so fib levels and the ascending trend line. So if we do end up seeing another retest here, it'd probably be that last lower liquidity sweep of 63,000, and then the price will take off from there. I would not be surprised if that happens. My expectation earlier today is that we see a retest of 66,000, but for right now, it's looking kind of weak. So, again, low volume has a tendency of doing that. When we look at the 4-hour time frame here, though, to quickly note, we had a MACD convergence earlier. It's kind of fizzling out, but still trying. We also have a stochastic swing to the downside now, and RSI roughly in that 40 range. It's not fantastic either. Okay, so none of these things are like amazing contributing factors that we're going to want to take a trade into. We're still below all moving averages, so honestly, waiting for confirmation for a long is absolutely recommended. In other words, do not take a long position. There's no confirmation at all. And then we look at the hourly from earlier today. I think we were peaking into the cloud, but now at this point, there we go. We were kind of trying to break into the cloud, never even cross that plane. And we can see here, of course, that there's nothing positive or contributing here either. The only thing that we had slightly going for us was the lagging span was free and clear to the upside, showing we had some strength, but that's since fizzled out with low volume leading into the rest of today's trading day. So the best way to understand this here, we take a look at the daily and kind of verify and look at the candlestick closure. We close in a doji candle. That can oftentimes sign a reversal, but again, it's way too early to tell. So I would absolutely hesitate in taking a long. If we see the price come up again, it would make a lot more sense for 66,000, that lower support range that has since been broken, to potentially hold as resistance. That would make sense. If that doesn't occur, I would say low 63,000 makes more sense to bounce off this potential 0.618 fib level, and then we see a recovery from Bitcoin. Okay, so it's looking a little bit more evident that we're going to see further price action to the downside before we see that recovery. But if it does happen, keep in mind 66K is the upper resistance. Generally speaking, that's where we're at here. It's not like super amazing. I'll go ahead and post this update here on our TikTok and Telegram, YouTube, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. I have shorts on TikTok and YouTube now. Same thing with Twitter here too. So make sure you jump on over there if you haven't already. Follow us if you'd like, just to stay abreast on pretty much everything that I feel that's relevant that you need to know. Thanks again so much for watching. Deeply appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, and if you want a better exchange to trade with, awesome bonus here if you use this link to register before the 30th of June. Important. Use that link and you have the option to essentially get some nice bonus rewards. It's all linked down below for you. Check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Take care.